Hey, what's going on, everyone? We are back, and guys, I promised I'm trying to make a video every day, and I see a lot of my friends and followers are showing much support, and thank you so much. We've grown exponentially in the last couple of weeks, and also due to the fact that I've been more active and been putting more content. If you guys been following me, I on my Instagram, I've been asking for a lot of advice, and most of the advice you get is just put more videos. And it sounds simple, but sometimes common sense is not always common sense, as they say, right? But besides that, I have a lot of my friends and followers that were asking me a couple of questions, how to start and how to, what should they use, and what equipment to start the video vlogging, and what should they pursue. And these are the questions I ask myself in the beginning all the time, and throughout my experience and as throughout time, I believe that we all pretty much know what we want to start with or what we want to talk about. And if you don't, kind of like me, you start whatever at that moment calls you, and kind of you start weeding out what it is you don't really care for, or maybe you thought you cared about it, and then eventually it just doesn't attract you anymore, and you just go to the next genre or niche, whatever they call it, and you vlog about it. I can change in a couple of weeks, change what I talk about. Right now, this is what it was calling me, so I really want to see if I can help out as much as young entrepreneurs and young business owners start their ventures. I think the number one thing besides starting, because I think that's what you got to do, just start. Put content up and help others and be in service of others. That mentality gets you started, but I think also the confidence you have. I suffer from this. I struggle with this daily, and I've been doing a lot of daily affirmations, and I think that has helped a lot. But I think we all have the abilities, but I think we put a cast on our abilities. Kind of like when you get hurt and you hurt your ankle, or you hurt your forearm, or your wrist, or your legs, the doctor puts a cast on temporarily so that the injury can heal, but you can't leave that cast on for the rest of the life for a long time. After a long time, that muscle or joint starts losing its function, and you have to start, after the temporary couple of days, you have to start forcing it to move, and it hurts like a bitch, but you gotta force it, and the blood has to go in through it, and it has to get that recognition again of how it moves. And the only way you go heal 100% is by walking on it or using it again as much as you can, and that's a good analogy of how we use our abilities. I think we all have the ability, but we put a cast on it, and we don't use them to our full potential because we don't believe in ourselves. And I want to tell you guys, because I know I suffer from this as well, whatever you want to start, whatever it is you want to go after, you are enough. You have it in you. Whatever you want to do, I pretty much believe that you're going to be great at it, but you have to have the patience and put in the work. These are notes to myself as well, because I know that I struggle from this as well, so I can imagine how everybody else struggles from this. The real reason we never start is because we don't believe in ourselves, and we don't believe we add value. And besides the fact that we fear what others think of us, we don't think we have the what it takes, And I'm here to tell you, you have what it takes. Whatever you want to start it. As for me, I just experiment. I start something here, I do this. I've done YouTube, blogs, websites, now Instagram, and I have a couple of more ideas, but I think the number one thing is just starting it, and then you'll see what works and what doesn't, and if you really don't like it, you can just drop it. You don't lose anything. It's not like you're investing the millions of dollars in this. You can start, for most of these things are free, and if not, minimum $100. That's when you probably might put down. If you want to buy the camera, $250. You get a GoPro, which was what I got. You can start with such a small investment and start your own business and work for yourself. And as I posted today on my Instagram, you want to work harder on yourself than you want to work as hard for yourself as you work at your job. Everybody says, I work hard at my job. I work hard. But are you working hard on yourself? Be careful, because if you're passionate about your job, that's great. And I'm all for that. I'm happy for you. But if you're just doing it to get a paycheck, you're going to lose yourself, as I did. You're going to forget about your passions, about your interests, about you. You're going to just go to work for a paycheck and benefits. And like I said, I don't think we might pay for it right now, but I think in the long run we all pay for it with diseases and aches and aging. I think most of the people that stay young are the ones that follow the interest, experiment, and in the long run they come back with some profits, but they're doing it just because they're curious about it. Keeps the mind going, keeps you up, keeps, when I do 8 hours of content, I'm not tired. If I do 8 hours in my job, I am exhausted. And I do 10 hours, forget about it. I don't want to see nobody the next day. So when you're doing something you're passionate about and what calls you, you don't really have it doesn't drain you, because it adds more energy to you. When you're doing it out of just a necessity, you get drained. And I think reading the book by Anita Marjani, she states, are we doing things out of fear, or are we doing things out of love? And that's a good question to ask yourself. If you're doing it out of fear, you're not going to get the most 100% of yourself. If you're doing it out of love, there will be nothing to stop you from pursuing that goal or passion you might have. So sorry about that. That's my daughter on the other side. I have to go, but stay tuned, and I will call and chime in, a comment, like, and if I'm adding value, come back. All right, guys, bye.